brush my teeth. I woke up this morning, I put the toothpaste on my toothbrush, and I brushed my teeth. I know that. I've never read my toothpaste because it doesn't matter to me. I don't care what it says. I know how to brush my teeth. And I have another confession to make. I made my son some toast about 2 weeks ago, and I've never read the owner's manual either. My mama taught me when I was a kid, you plug the toaster in, you put the toast in, you push the buttons down, you wait, it pops up, and voila, you got toast. Easy enough. I got it. But a few months ago, I woke up with considerable pain. Some of the worst pain I've ever had in my life. And I am fortunate enough to have one of the smartest doctors on this earth. I am convinced. Any doctor between the Pacific and the Atlantic, he's in the top 5 hands down. And I'm lucky enough to have his own personal number. So I woke up in considerable pain. I called him up, talked to him on the phone, told him what was going on, told him what was hurting, why it was hurting, and everything from A to Z. And he asked me a few questions. And he says, I know exactly the problem. I tell you what, I'm going to call in a prescription for you. He made sure he knew where my pharmacy was, and he told me about what time he'll be available to be ready. So at the appropriate time, I managed to get into my car. I managed to drive down to my local pharmacy. I stood in the line. I got my prescription. I paid him my money. I took like 2 steps over. I ripped that bag over. I took out that prescription, and I read every word on it. Take 3 a day. Can do that. Take with a full glass of water. There's no fountain there. Take on a full stomach. I forgot to eat breakfast. May cause drowsiness. I got to drive back home. So as much as I wanted to rip open that bottle and take my medicine like I was supposed to, I put it back in my bag. I drove back home. I went home. I made me some toast. Again, without the directions. I made my toast. I filled me a big old glass of water. I ate my breakfast. I drank the water. I took my pill. And by the end of the day, I was out of pain. Wonderful. But I read those directions because they did matter. I made it home safe. I'm glad I did because it really almost knocked me out 5 minutes after I took it. And I probably would not have made it home. So I'm thankful I read my directions. But I would give that pain, it was a horrible pain, and I'd give that 100 times over that pain if I can guarantee that I make it to heaven. That medicine was important, but heaven's more important. So if I'm going to read every single word on my medicine, I'm going to read every single word that comes out of my Lord's mouth in concerning to how to get to heaven. Because plain and simple, the Bible tells us in straight up English, in John chapter 12, he that rejects me and receiveth not my words hath one that judgeth him. The word that I have spoken, the same shall judge him in the last day. Did you catch that? You're going to be judged. Get to heaven or not to get to heaven. If you get to heaven, why? Because you followed his words. And if heaven is important, I'm reading them, I'm understanding them, and then I'm rereading them just to make sure I understand them. And then I follow them. Plain and simple. Point next. If I believe in heaven, and I'm a logical being, then I will put my entire life's work into the work of the church. Did you know that in the King James Version, and also my English Standard, but in the King James Version, the words kingdom of heaven or kingdom of God is used exactly 100 times. And every time it's used, it means one of 2 different things. It means either heaven or the church. And I say 2 different things, and I really mislead you there because it's really one thing it's talking about. It's talking about the sphere of the saved while it's on earth, the church, or the sphere of the saved after this earth, heaven. It's the same thing. It's just a matter of one's a place, one's a group of people. If you are a part of this when you die or are taken from this earth, you will get to here. Plain and simple. That's the reason why it's called the exact same thing in both the original language and our English language. So I'm going to challenge you something. I was going to say something much longer, but I'm running out of time. So I'm going to challenge you for something. You go ahead. You believe in heaven, and then you miss Bible class. Go ahead. Keep an arm's length between you and the members of this congregation. Go ahead and do it. Sunday night. They're on. Last Sunday night there's a UK-UNC ball game. You know what? That's important. I don't really need to go to church. Wednesday night comes and something pops up. And I'm not talking about something that's you got to go to. I'm talking about making a choice here. Wednesday night comes and it's just Bible study. Morning break comes and that's your normal Bible reading time, and you go, you know what? I know I really want to read through the Bible in a year, but that's 3 chapters and that takes a while. You know, I'll skip today. And I'll skip tomorrow. You know what? It's not really that important. I don't really. I go Sunday mornings. Go ahead and do that. See if it gets you where you want to go. Because I'm telling you right here and right now, that type of attitude does not go with the attitude of wanting to get to heaven. The type of attitude that says, you know what, I know the congregation's doing a singing at the nursing home, but I don't really want to go. Or, you know what, I know the youth group is having a youth rally, and I really should support them, but I'm not part of the youth. There's a gospel meeting. I don't need to go. Do that. That attitude with getting to heaven is like a square peg with a round hole. Don't work. It's like using, young folks, it's like using a cell phone with a dead battery. It don't work. So if you truly believe in heaven and you truly want to get there, the attitude of, you know what, meeting, that's not important. Helping others, that's not important. They don't go together, guys. Plain and simple. Point, I don't remember. Point next, whatever it happens to be. If you believe in heaven, then I must leave a legacy of Christianity to my children. Plain and simple. Denise and I were going overseas a few years ago. My wife is Denise. We were going overseas a few years ago. We planned. You know what? We went with, this was when just Landon was born. We planned what happens if something happens to us while we're down in South America. We wanted to make sure he's taken care of. So we contacted a friend of ours who's a lawyer, and we did our will. We did our planning, and ever since we've done our financial planning to prepare what if something happens to us. And I don't know if you're doing the exact same thing. I don't know what you're planning on leaving your children. If you're planning on leaving them money or property or a business, or I don't know. But I'm not always sure that's always a good thing. You know, I have some friends who were left things more than they needed. And I've read stories of people inheriting things that they you know, a lot of money, and honestly, it's done more detriment to their character than it could have. And so I'm not always sure that planning that way and planning on leaving them an abundance of everything is always a good thing. But I do know one thing. No one has ever done harm to their children if they leave a true, good, proper Christianity onto their children. Nobody. I would give up my life 100 times out of 100 to either of those boys. Jump in front of a bullet. That's important. Their spirituality is important. What's more important? The money I leave them or their eternal destination? What am I doing to cultivate? Am I teaching my little one about the wonders of this earth and how God created it? Are we teaching our 10-year-olds how to pray and how to read our Bibles? Are we teaching our teenagers not only to read our Bibles, but to study it every day and to find passages that's relevant in their life? Are we showing those teenagers exactly why a virtuous life is better than the wild partying life? I have a question. Are you teaching your adult children, by example of being here? Are you teaching your adult children that it's important to be in a local congregation and to be active? Yeah, you're probably planning the financial futures of what happens when you die. But are you planning for their spiritual future? And are you doing everything you can to ensure that you meet them in heaven? Point 7. If there isn't heaven, then there must be a hell. You know, as I'm studying for this verse, or as I'm studying this, I come across a lot of passages about heaven and hell, and you know, I've come to the conclusion there's more similarities than there are differences. Because we find out about them in the same place. The duration that you're there is the exact same time. You get there at the same time, right after your judgment. Same place to find out about it. Not same place, but same place you find out about it. Same duration. It's both eternal. I mean, we can actually read Jesus' words when he says about those who don't do his commands. He says in Matthew 25, "And these shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into life eternal." Now, the words everlasting and eternal are the exact same word in the original language. But I guess for clarity's sake, they translate them differently. But here's the point. Same duration. Same place you find it. If you believe in heaven, you believe in hell. You got to if you're alive. And if I believe in hell, then that only motivates me more to get to heaven. And I'm not one of those that likes to, use hell as a motivating factor, but for me personally, you better believe it. For my desire for those over there, you better believe it. For my desire for you, you better believe it. Because if you're not going to heaven, you are going to hell. And if you believe in heaven, you believe in hell. Point 8. If I believe in heaven, then I am better equipped to face the sufferings of this life. Life's not easy, guys. It's not. Jesus never promised an easy life. In fact, I will give to you that he promised the exact opposite, because he tells us in John 10:10 that he will give us life more abundant. Not life better, not life with only happy times, life more abundant. That means my highs will be higher. That means my lows will be lower. But you know what? No matter what, it's exactly that, of this life. And that's not permanent. Because this life, this earth, will pass away. As I was preparing for this, I kind of remember one of my favorite comedians when I grew up. Some of you actually may know him. His name's Mark Lowry. A lot of you may know him from, he currently later became part of the Bill Gaither group or band or whatever. And I'm not recommending that by any means. But growing up, I really liked Mark Lowry. He's very clean. And he says that his favorite Bible verse was, you ready for it? And it came to pass. That's it. And it came to pass. It didn't come to stay. It came to pass. You know that arthritis that you have in the morning? That's painful. It'll pass. You know that headache? It's going to pass. Hey, jocks. Do we have any jocks out? Do we have any athletic guys or girls out there that's got muscles in their eyeballs? Enjoy them. They'll pass. Pretty girls with the pretty soft hair and the nice flawless skin. Enjoy it. It'll pass. It's going to pass because it came to pass. It's of this world. And it came to pass. You know, Paul knew that. Also, preparing for this lesson, I came across, I can't tell you how many times I've read 2 Corinthians chapter 4. I can't tell you how many times I've read it. But I never noticed something. Paul, somebody mentioned something about Paul and being beaten. I think it was in Bible class. But Paul stated in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, he said,